Morning, my name is Wilhelm Wetscher. Today I'm going to demo you 3 ways of preparing eggs. Scrambled, fried eggs over easy, and poached eggs. To prepare these dishes you need the following equipment and ingredients. Here we have, of course, the main ingredient, which is large grade A eggs. We have a little bit of milk, salt, pepper, bit of vinegar, and clarified butter, which is butter where we have separated the solids from the fat. For the equipment, you should have a stainless steel bowl. I have a small whisk since I'm just preparing a small quantity. Wooden spoon, rubber spatula, few spoons, tasting spoons. I'm using small omelette bun since I'm only making a small quantity. Teflon, so it's easier to work with as it's non-stick. Always keep a little plate here, slotted spoons, so we can take out the poached eggs from the water. And I have a little plate here with a paper towel to dry off the poached eggs. First dish I'm going to demo today is the scrambled eggs. With cooking eggs, the main thing is to have low heat or medium heat and short cooking times, as eggs when they're overcooked get tough and rubbery. So we have a stainless steel bowl, and you want to use stainless steel because the egg white has a bit of sulfur in it, and if you use aluminum it will react. So you crack the eggs by tapping it on the rim of the bowl and then just open it and let it go in. I'm going to use a bit of salt, white pepper. You can add a bit of milk or cream. You don't want to add too much as not to dilute the flavor. And you're going to whip this really well. You want to incorporate a bit of air, and you want to make sure that the egg whites and the yolks are really well mixed. So I have the pan on the stove. I want to bring it up to a medium heat. I'm going to add a little bit of the clarified butter to it. About 3/4 of a spoon. Check if it's hot enough. I have a little bit of water, and you can just sprinkle a drop of water, and if it starts to sizzle, that means that the clarified butter is hot enough. In this case, I still have to wait a little bit. Temperature is very important. With egg cooking, you don't want to have it too hot. Also, you don't want to have it not hot enough, because the eggs will stick to the bottom of the pan. So I think this should be a good temperature now. I'm going to pour the eggs in. I'm going to take my rubber spatula. You want to wait till the eggs start to coagulate a little bit. You don't want to stir too much so as to break up the eggs into two smaller particles. So what I'm doing here, I'm stirring it lightly. You can see the eggs starting to coagulate, and I'm just lifting it up a little bit so that the uncooked egg can go underneath to the bottom of the pan. For the scrambled eggs, you want to make sure that the eggs are not overcooked. They should be still moist. As you can see here, they are almost ready to go. You want to serve them right away. If you have scrambled eggs which you have to hold a little bit on the steam table, you want to undercook them even a little bit more so that they can will finish cooking in the steam table. Also, you don't want to have too much color on the eggs, and if you want, you can garnish them with some chives. You could add some cheese into it, and so on, to flavor them. So as I mentioned, they should be moist and soft and tender to eat. The next recipe I'm going to show you is fried eggs over easy. Again, we're going to use the grade A eggs. I have two ramekins here. I'm gonna just crack the eggs into the ramekins rather than straight into the pan. It's a little bit more controlled that way, and I can control the shape of the eggs a little bit better. I'm gonna use the non-stick small omelette pan. I have some clarified butter, and you don't want to put too much butter in, about 2 ml, because you don't want the egg to get too greasy. Also, you don't want to put too little in, because you don't want the egg to stick to the bottom of the pan. You're going to heat this pan up to about a medium to low temperature. Same technique we can use. Take a drop of water, just drop it in, and you will see if the fat starts to sizzle. The pan is now hot enough. It's at around medium temperature. I'm going to take the eggs and I'm going to slide them into the pan. Very important that the eggs are nice and fresh, because if they're not, the egg white will spread out too much and you won't get a nice looking fried egg. You can see the egg white is starting to coagulate. Color is changing from transparent to opaque. You can see the eggs are starting to slide. In this case, we're going to make egg over easy. I'm going to wait just a little bit more till it's set, and then I'm going to slide it to the front of the pan, and I'm just going to flip it over with the by flicking it with my wrist. I'm going to demo you this. So now this looks good. So slide the eggs over and then just flick it over, and you're going to wait just a few seconds, and you can just feel by touch how the yolks. You want them nice and soft, and you want the white solidified, coagulated. It's a nice shape. I'm going to just slide it out onto the plate. You want to have a nice shine to it. You don't want to have it too fat. You want the white set but still tender. You don't want to have color on it, and you don't want to have the yolks. In this case, we want it soft, so they should be still nice and runny. So when I cut into this egg, perfect. Final recipe I'm going to demo you is poached eggs. For the poached eggs, I have the water simmering lightly. I'm going to add a bit of salt into it, and just a touch of white vinegar. You do not need the vinegar. The vinegar helps to coagulate the egg white faster, so it keeps the shape better. I'm going to crack the eggs into those little dishes. As you can see, the sides of the dishes are kind of going outwards, not like the ramekins, which was straight up. I'm using this dish because it's easier for me to slide the egg into the water. So I'm going to crack the egg. And very important that the temperature of the water is right. It has a light simmer. You don't want to have it to boil too hard or simmer too hard, as it will break the egg. So the best, you take the egg and you slide it in at the edge of the pot, and we have a little spoon. Just hold it together and slide the other egg in. Now this, I'm just going to increase the temperature a little bit, and then I'm going to watch it and just try to monitor it so it's on a light simmer. At this point, you don't want to disturb the eggs too much, as you don't want them to break them with a spoon. So now the water is coming back to a light simmer, and I'm going to just try to keep it at that temperature. It will take about 3 minutes roughly. Also, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to break a little bit of those whites which are starting to break off, so will help to keep a nice shape. Once they're done, you want the whites firm but yet not tough, still soft and tender, and you want the eggs soft inside. Once the eggs are done, I will take them out with this slotted spoon and just dry it off on the towel. If you don't serve the eggs right away, you could get an ice bath ready and just refresh them in an ice bath, store them, and you could reheat them in the simmering poaching liquid. I'm going to take them out. Looks like it's ready. Just going to dry it off a little bit, and if you have a little knife, you can cut those pieces of egg whites which are falling off. Cut it off, so just keep it a nice shape. One, take the other one out, right off. There you go. So the whites have set. They're nice and shiny, and the yolks in the middle nice and soft, still runny. See, you can start, they start a little bit to coagulate. Perfect.